I started recording. Yeah. So the flow can be used same like the process builder. Basically, flow is advanced concept of workflow, approval process builder. Basically, whatever like it's covering workflow, approval process, and the process builder, the flow will do everything. Only one drawback in the flow is basically you cannot send a outbound message. But here again in Lightning process builder also there is no outbound message. Only workflow and approval process there is outbound message, but process builder and flow there is no outbound message. That is the only one drawback in the flow. Other than that, for flow you can do lot of things like during the creation time. Yes, you can do it. Trigger, before trigger, after trigger, you can do it. Before saving a record into database, you can do some logic. Once the record is saved, you can do some logic. So you will get a lot of functionality on the flow. Previously, like there is no trigger functionality. Now they come up with the trigger functionality. So I will show you that. So we'll go through that everything in the flow. Yeah, previously like only they have a two flows. One is user interface flow, auto launched flow. Now they come up with another one more flow, triggered flow. Or record trigger flow. Let me check that. Yeah. So now to create a flow, just click on the setup. Look for a flow. There are so many flow already because it's a developer org. So you'll get a plenty of flow. New flow. See here, you will have a template also. There are some templates. You can use any one of the template and use it. But let's go for a core actions. So the first one is screen flow. Okay. So screen flow means basically it's a user interface. The second one is record triggered flow. So which is, well, if there is any changes in the record, creation time or updation time or deleted, even deleted time also, this flow will fire basically. And also before save, after save, it will run in the background, but you can do before and after changes, either creation time or updated time or deleted time. Then we have a scheduled flows. So let me just put this. So screen flow, the second one is record triggered flow. So the user flow means basically you will have a user input. User has to provide some input. User input is required. Okay, but here background, basically background job. Yeah, so this is basically background job. The third one is scheduled trigger flow. So this one you can use it for scheduling purpose. So be careful. This is compute development work basically. Like you can, if you know all this, you can achieve like a more development work. So scheduled workflow is, let's say like on a specific time you want to send an email, or if you want to do bulk update or bulk data jobs, you can use the scheduled jobs. So maybe like you want to update like some status on the existing records. So for example, we have an employee. I want to update all the employees, the status field, approval status field to be open. I want to update all the existing employee approval status field to open. How you will do it? You can run a flow. Simple scheduled trigger flow. And also not only the scheduled flow, you can go for any specific time interval. So every on the day specific time, you can go and run it. Basically, it's a batch process. So In order to write a batch class, you may need to have a, even developer also, you need to have a bit of experience. Basic developer cannot write a batch Apache. So you need to have a experience. But now the experience kind of stuff, as an administrator, you can perform if you are very clear on the scheduled trigger flow. Basically, the scheduled trigger flow, you can schedule a number of record, basically batch record on a specific time interval. So every day, if you want to do some update operations, or every day, like maybe every 1 month or every week, like if you want to do run some background work, definitely you can use the scheduled triggered flow. Again, this is also background job based on the scheduled time. Okay. The fourth one is platform event triggers. So basically, this will occur only if there is a changes in the platform event. I would say this is again, it's a kind of development work. You have to create a platform event first, then only this will fire. So I will just put this. This will occur only on platform events. Platform event is another big topic. So if you want to invoke the AWS or external systems, you can use the platform event. Then auto launched flow. So here, like we cannot use no trigger basically. So in order to call the Apache class or process builders or flow or REST API, you can use the auto launched flow. Again, this is also background job, no need to use interface. This is, I would say, invoked by another process or another flow. Another flow or process or Apache. Okay, so we have a 5 different types of flows available. Previously, you saw that, right? So before winter 20, just we have only 2. Now they come up with like a lot of changes in the flow. So one is user interface flow. The one which I showed you like previously, like a kind of application form that is built on the user interface flow. Record trigger flow. So if you want to do any before logic or after, before saving the data into a database, you can do some changes. You can use the before trigger. Even you can do validation rule on the record triggered flow. Scheduled flow, again on a specific time interval. If you want to do update on records, yes, you can go and do batch Apache basically. Platform event, again, it's a kind of development. Auto launched will be used to invoke by another flows. So if you want to call the Apache class, or if you want to call the process builder from a flow, you can call the process builder. Yeah, and also from the flow, you can call another flow. So at that time, you have to use auto launched flow. Then only you can call it.
So, Sampath, what is the platform event you say?
The platform event is basically, it will be useful for external integrations. So it is invoked by external systems. So let's assume like you are integrating with the AWS, Salesforce and AWS, you are trying to integrate it. Now, if there is in AWS, if there are some actions, yeah, let's say like a Lambda function is invoked, or Lambda function is triggered as some record, or its record is created in AWS.
Okay.
That will call the platform event, Salesforce platform event. So basically, it will give a triggering functionality. So it will say, okay, there is a new record created in AWS. So that notification sent to platform event over here. Now, based on that event, you can do any operations in Salesforce. Like once the platform event is received in Salesforce, based on that, you can do other jobs.
Okay.
So that is the main use case for platform events. Okay. Any other questions on this 5? Hello.
This
No,
user
Sampath, yeah.
interface flow is also called screen flow, Sampath.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's user interface. This is screen flow. So I would say like previously the name is user interface. Now they made it as a screen. Here there will be a screen and user must enter some value. Okay. Now let's focus on the screen flow today. Okay, before jump into the flow, screen flow, we need to have a requirement. Let's say we have an HR management and we have an employee. Now assume you are trying to build a application form. So let's say there are some openings in this company and you are making like a kind of a portal where the new employee can go and upload their resume and they can update their details. So basically you are going to build a new application portal, public applicant portal, I would say. Yeah, it's not a private, it's a public applicant portal. Users can go and enter their informations and they can submit their resume for that particular role or a particular job. That is the one scenario we can go and build it. Or let's assume like to capture the employee. Here there is an employee, right? And click on the new button. It's asking like experience or pressure. Then after that, it's showing like all the info. Here itself, it's giving like all the info. So instead of this, what you can do, you can build a screen by screen. So after selecting the experience, the next question will be basic information. Let's say one screen. Within the screen, enter the personal informations. Then after that, we are going to ask a questions. Would you like to enter the email preference? If they say yes, then display these fields. And another screen, do you have any experience? If they say yes, we can display the screen. And would you like to enter the address information? Then display the screens. So we can ask a questions based on their input. We can display the screen, otherwise we can finish the screens. So we can take the same employee screen and we try to build this screen into a flow. Okay, so instead of displaying all the fields into one screen, I would say have a different screen and try to capture it. And whenever they save it, it has to create a record in employee automatically. So instead of using the new button, I would say use the flow to ask all the questions basically. Yeah. So the requirement is basically we are going to create a new employee process using flow. Okay. Let's move on to it. So create a flow. So now you know which flow you want to select, right? So just a screen flow. How do you want to start building it? Free form or auto layout? Auto layout means the system will take care of it automatically. Free form means you auto align it properly. Now if I go for an auto layout, see here, it's aligned from center. Now this is the flow. If you don't want auto layout, like you can drag it, like is here, you can drag it anywhere. But here, like again, you have to put like everything and you have to design it. I will go ahead with auto flow. I will save new employee onboarding process. Okay. Now the first screen, what you have to ask? I would say screen 1. Okay. So first, the first question will be Either it could be a drop down or you can have a radio box. So what is the first question? Select record type. I don't want like a record type, this, that. So are you fresher or experience? What will do? What question will put like a please select your input, or we can have like a radio button. Okay, so you can go see here, these are all the separate data type, basically input fields. There are 36 input fields available. So you can go for simple radio button. There is the radio button over here. So please select your preference, or please select your experience, or please state your experience, or select your preference, I will say. Okay, here first option will be I'm going to create variable value pressure, right? We'll go ahead with the what value, what else, other value?
Experience and the pressure. both
Okay,
of them.
experience and pressure. Okay, so let's go for it. So first value I will go on to create experience. Okay, and the data type I will go ahead with the text.
But why you have given the variable actually? What is that actually? Resource type.
This one,
Yeah, yeah,
the
please.
system will act as a variable, or even you can go for a choice. So basically, like, yeah, variable means it will consider as a one variable, and
Okay.
choice means it will give you like a multiple option selections. Record choice means in order to get the value from the backend. So if you want to query the Salesforce record, you can go for a record choice. Pick list choice means again in order to display the pick list value as a choice, or you can go for a stage. Again, it's a staging table. Like, yeah, at the moment either you can go for a variable or choice. I would say like go for a choice better. So
Okay.
here,
If you are using any values in that time, what you're going to do, like basically?
just a variable or constant. If there is no
Okay,
changes in that, you can go for a constant.
Okay.
EXPERIENCE, experience. Okay, and the data type text. Choice value, just no need. Okay, add a one more choice. So new resource, choice. What I will do, whenever if you are entering the variable, I would say choice underscore fresher, so that it's easy for us to understand whether it's a choice or whatever it is, like the variable type, then the name, just fresher. Data type will be text, and the experience also I will go on to change that. Okay, but let it be. What I will do, I will change the variable over here. Edit. So experience API name, I will say choice underscore experience, so that all the choice variable I can see it over here. So choice, under the choice you will see choice experience, choice pressure. Okay, save now. Now just debug it. So you can see two options. Okay, Hello.
Sampath.
Yes, Sampath, how can you see that output like basically?
There is a
If you want
debug,
to
no?
see. Okay.
So you can use run, but run is like again it will execute, but debug is the right options in order to debug the flow. Okay. The first screen I have added options. Now what I need to do, if it's an experience, I may need to display the different. If it's a pressure, I may need to display the different screen. Yeah. So I will just go ahead with this. Screen one, we captured which choice like they are, whether experienced guy or fresher guy. The next question will be enter your informations, basically like their name and their details, like you have to capture it. So for that, again, I need a one more screen. So just simply drag it. If you are in the auto layout, you have to add it. But if you are not in the auto layout, you have to drag it. Yeah. I would say screen 2. So just link it over here. Now within the screen, you can go and put. So let's say what you are going to capture. You are going to capture the first name, right? So, and before that, you can put some display text. So screen 2, display text 1. Display text 1. This is just a API name of this field basically. So what text you want need, like you can put the text over here. Please provide the following info. Okay. So here, first name. API name, I would say user interface, because we are capturing from the user interface, right? Just say user interface. If you need a required field, you can make it as a required field. And also you can have a conditional visibility. Yeah, if it's like the field is visible based on other field, you can go for like a set component visibility. The field is visible always, or you can have a custom logic based on some other input you can display. Now let me put another field, which is last name. Okay. And if you need a default value, you can populate. Then email. Email. API name is UI email. Read only required equal to true. Because this is the component field, like the property will be different. This is a little bit different. It's basically, we call it as a email component. So these are all the field. So the first text is just a field basically. But this one, it's a component, LWC component basically. So that's why like the property will be different in this. So do you want to populate any values? Like you can put like the value will be new variable. I am going to store into one variable, which is UI email input. So whatever they enter it will